today is going to be on some of the different functionality that is available in scheduling. So we're going to show you how to enter recalls in the system, and we're going to talk about searching availability as well as how to use dispositions to kind of help you with printing less paper and how to make the schedule really work for you. So what we're going to start with first is just searching availability, okay? And we are going to just go right into the template schedule. Okay, let me just get this out of here. All right, so within our template schedule, there's two ways to get into the availability search. You can go up to the, at the top of your template schedule, your linear schedule. We can go out and, of course, search, 1 week, I want to see next week, or I want to see the week after, and look for available appointments that way. You can also just change the date at the top of each column. But there a quicker way to do this is by clicking on the availability button in the lower left corner of your linear schedule. Okay, when you click availability, you can choose your start date. Okay, we want to find the next available appointment. The system knows that, so it's always going to default to the current date. Okay, with the locations, if the patient wants to be seen at a specific office, we can go ahead and choose that office. If they want to see a specific doctor, go ahead and choose that physician. I'm going to go ahead and just choose Dr. Jones. And then, of course, there's a procedure if you wanted to go as far as looking for, a new patient visit or a complete established visit or, a visual field or whatever the case is. In the middle of the screen are the filters. So we want to include the appointments that meet the following criteria. So if the patient only wants to come in on Tuesday or Thursday and they prefer afternoons, then we would only tell the system to search for PM appointments on Tuesday and Thursday. Once we click search, it is going to start searching for the first available appointments. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and stop this, and I'm going to add a couple more days just because I'm not sure that Dr. Jones is just in here. What we're going to see as soon as this is finished is it's going to return the first 100 appointments that are available. Okay? There we go. Okay, so it found the first 100 appointments, and it shows us down at the bottom the procedure, the location, the physician that we searched for because we told it to search for a specific doctor, and then the date and time of the appointment. So looking at this, you're not going to, of course, sit on the phone and tell your patient, okay, well, we have 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, but we can give them a few choices out of here. Now, as we scroll down, we have different dates. The system found more than 100 appointments. It just shows us the first 100, okay? You can drag these column headers up, and it kind of breaks it out by procedure, so it's a little bit easier to look at. The patient needs to come in for a complete with a visual field. Okay, well, these are the dates and times that are available, the next available for a complete with a visual field. Now, if you look up at my schedule, we're showing Dr. Jones at the main office, and the date is Thursday, June 19th. Okay. If we are wanting to book this appointment on June 13th at 1:30, you can double click on it, and it's going to take you out to that particular day, that doctor, that location for the appointment that you want to book. And then from here, here's my complete with a visual field at 1:30. I can go in and make my appointment from there. Okay. And then that is made. All right. Now, the other way to get into availability, if you do not have this open, probably not going to be used as much, but if you go through the File Template Scheduling menu, of course you can get into your schedule from here to pull it up, and then like I said, you can also just use this date column up at the top to go forward, 6 weeks or 8 weeks and search availability that way. Within the availability button, just like all of the other date fields in Management Plus, you can type a plus sign and it's going to turn your date box blue. So if I wanted to go out 6 months, I can do plus 6M for Dr. Jones again. Okay, and you see as soon as I typed plus 6M, it automatically took me out to, well, let me go back to today. It automatically goes out 6 months, which is December. So rather than typing it in, if I wanted to go out 9 months or 6 weeks, you can use that equation. It's just the plus sign, the number that you want, and then D for days, W for weeks, M for months, and Y for years. Okay, so it just kind of takes some of the work out of it as far as, how far out is, 6 weeks from now. What is that date? All right. You can just type it in that box. So that's, as far as searching availability, that is one way to do it. If you're actually in a patient's account, so pull up a patient, and we go into the patient appointments. When you go out to make an appointment, the availability button is not here. The system's automatically going to start searching for you. I know some people use the date box from this drop-down. You can do the same function, plus 6M, and it will start 6 months from now. And then you can hit search. You can also use the double arrows over on the right side to go 1 week at a time, looking for those yellow open boxes. Okay? So that is how you can search availability. While we're in this patient's account, let's talk about recalls. Okay? So the recalls are put in the system. They are in the patient's account, in their appointment, property in the appointment area where you can view past and future appointment history. Okay? Down in the bottom left corner, there's the recalls. So we can go in and we can add a recall. We need to come back in 1 year. And we do need to, choose a procedure, and it's just going to be, we'll just do a, Dr. Jones pre-check. And I want to go to the main office. And then why do I need to come back? Okay, this is just going to be maybe an annual exam or, 6-week follow-up, whatever it is. We click OK. So what we are going to do, I'm going to get rid of this one. When you make an appointment for this patient, it's going to ask you if the appointment that you're making satisfies that recall. Okay, so let me just show you. Choose a different procedure. Okay, so if we were to book this appointment, it's going to pop up with this complete recall box that says, does this appointment satisfy the recall for Dr. Jones pre-check on June 12, 2015? If I click yes, then it's going to mark that recall as satisfied. If I click no, it's going to leave the recall over here in the patient's account. So in a year, I can run a report, I can use the work list, whatever it is I'm going to use, and try and get that patient back in. Okay. Now, the reason that that popped up and said, does this new appointment satisfy the recall, is because we have it enabled. Okay. I'll show you where to enable a recall in just a moment, but the other function that enabling recalls adds is when we go into cancel an appointment, patient canceled, are you sure you want to cancel? Yes. It's going to ask you, do you want to set up a recall for this patient? Because it knows you're canceling the appointment, you're not rescheduling it, so do we need to set up a recall to get them back in so that they don't get lost, in the system anywhere? So we can click yes, and again, maybe they canceled their appointment for July, so I'm going to set their recall for July, why they were coming in, okay, and then maybe I'm going to just put patient canceled due to illness, or whatever the case was. That way we know that that patient did have a previous appointment and they just canceled it. Okay? So now I have two different recalls. They're going to get a recall letter or postcard or whatever I send out, phone call maybe, next month for the July recalls. They're still going to get one in a year. All right? So the system will kind of assist you in entering those recalls. It prompts you at the right times. Do you want to set one up for this canceled appointment? And does this new appointment satisfy the recall for XYZ that's been entered? Okay? Now, let's flip over here to File, Administration, and System Properties. Under Administration and System Properties, this is where the recalls are enabled or disabled. Okay? Just below the work week at the top of the screen, it says Recall Capture. Disabled means that it's not going to pop up and ask you if you want to set up a recall, or it's not going to say, does the appointment satisfy the recall that has been entered? When it's enabled, those two functions are going to help you in capturing those patient recalls. Okay? Now, we're going to do a separate webinar on actually working recalls, but that's how you can turn it on in your system so that it is there, again, assisting you in capturing that information. When you right-click in the recall area, of course, there's Add a New One. You can edit an existing one. If you delete, it is truly deleting it out of the system, and you cannot report on it. If you cancel it, it's still going to cancel the recall and take it out of the patient's account. However, we can run a report on inactive recalls. Okay? Recalls that have been satisfied turn into appointments. Recalls that are canceled are shown as inactive recalls, and they can be reported on. Okay? Deleted recalls, however, cannot be shown in a report. So just keep that in mind. That is the difference between the two when you get into your recalls. Okay? Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the dispositions. Okay? The appointment dispositions are set up. We'll just talk about where they're set up first. So if we go into File and then Template Scheduling and Scheduling Setup, we have dispositions. Okay? For dispositions, this is everything that patient really could be. All right? We have quite a few in here. Some of them really are not applicable. For example, we have appointment confirmed, check-in, check-out, completed, copay received, doctor out of the office. That's not really applicable for this, so we're just going to delete it. All right, so we're just going to go in and add a disposition. I'm going to go ahead and call it left message. Okay. Now, this description is for your use. Just below that, we're indicating that this description means this. So, left message, if I'm calling to confirm my appointments, I know a lot of offices will print out a schedule that has the date, the time, their appointment, patient's phone number so they can go down and check it, office confirmed, or left message, or left a voicemail, things like that. So in here, when we are leaving a message for that patient, we're still just trying to confirm it. So the appointment is still scheduled. It's not a rescheduled, it's not a canceled, it's not completed, and the patient is not here yet. All right? And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say that the color for this one is going to be money green. All right? So, and I'll show you where those colors come into play in just a minute. So left message, it's still a scheduled appointment, and we're going to save that. Now, I want to just check, appointment is confirmed. That means, again, still the patient confirmed that they are coming in tomorrow. That's good. And we're going to change this one to aqua. All right? Check-in means the patient is in the office. Check-out means that appointment is completed. Okay? You guys can assign your own color scheme however you'd like. This one, they received a co-payment, meaning the patient's in the office. Just a way to track who has or hasn't paid co-pays, I guess. and then we have that as fuchsia. And then, of course, our initial scheduled one, this is system assigned, so you cannot change it. That is just the default navy blue. All right? So what we're going to do is we're going to close out of here. You can edit this list to be whatever you'd like. Once it's entered and you have it, all of the options that you want that are going to work for your office, you're going to close out of here. Okay? Now, one thing I'm going to show you real quick before we get into the schedule is under File, General, and Staff Properties. When you come into Staff Properties, this is a per user, per workstation setting. Okay? Once you're in these Staff Properties, there's a Scheduling tab. All right? And you can see that, I'm going to make it a little bit easier for a minute. We can have the system show the patient's account number, patient ID, as well as the phone number in our schedule. All right? Just for the sake of space to make sure you can see everything, I'm just going to have it show me the phone number right now. Okay? That is going to pull the home phone number. So you've heard, over time, don't delete the phone types that are bold. This is one of the reasons you don't want to get rid of your home phone number that is the bold option. Okay? So, scheduling, show phone number, and scheduling. All right, I'm going to save that. And now we are going to go back over, and I'm just going to close and reopen my schedule so that it can refresh. Okay. We don't have too many appointments today, so we're just going to make a couple of appointments for this afternoon with various people. And we are going to also add a 1:30. Okay, so we have a couple of appointments in here. As the patients are coming in, they're signing in, they write, your front desk checks them in. When you right-click just from your schedule on the appointment, it's 1:30 for Jason Jones. I'm going to right-click and I'm going to go to Dispositions. Now, when I go to Disposition, I have all of these options that we just looked at. Okay, patient appointment right now is scheduled. That's why it's the navy blue color. Well, I'm going to say that yesterday we did get a hold of this patient and we confirmed that appointment, and now you can see it's aqua. So at the end of the day, after you've gone through and confirmed appointments, using this list, because here's our patient's name, here's the patient's home phone number, here's the reason they're coming in, and then up at the top, of course, we have the doctor and the location. So we can just right-click, go down the list, and confirm everybody for tomorrow. Okay, or today in this case. We added one called left a message. With left message, we are going to say, we didn't get a hold of the patient, but we did leave a message. That way, when we're looking at that schedule, at 2:40, if that patient doesn't come in, well, we know that we left a message yesterday. They never actually confirmed their appointment. Okay, we can do all of this just from our linear schedule. All right. If I right-click, patient's going to check in. We're going to mark them as checked in. Okay. If you're using the flow monitor, which again is another webinar, but if you are using the flow monitor, it's going to check that patient in to the initial station, like the waiting room station, on your flow monitor. That way everyone in the office knows that patient is here. If you're not using the flow monitor, you can use just this color system. The lime green indicates that this patient is checked in. Okay? We go down and just do this throughout the day. We're going to check them in as they check in, and we're good to go. Checkout. Patient comes in and they check out. All right? Well, maybe first they're going to say that the patient paid their copay, and then it's going to change our color to fuchsia. Okay? Once they're completed, if that's something that you have, that's great. You can check out, and that is going to mark that appointment as a completed appointment. That means their patient is no longer here, and when we hover over it, it does display the disposition that that patient is checked out. Okay? You can do all of this from your schedule without having to do anything else. Just go in, I mean, you guys can create any dispositions that you want. The ones that we have in the system are kind of the basic: scheduled, office canceled, patient canceled, no-show, office rescheduled, and patient rescheduled. So those are the dispositions that are standard in your database before you've edited your list. You guys can create. This is kind of a standard, confirmed, left message, checked in, checked out. Not very often do I see a completed or copay, because if patients completed their appointment, they're checking out, they're gone. Okay. You can create different dispositions based on what's going to work well for your staff. Assign the colors. It is helpful, I've seen, to create a little legend to say, sky blue means patients checked out, lime green, patients checked in, fuchsia means, we confirmed them, or whatever the case is. All right? So using those two pieces, the dispositions and the colors, as well as turning on the phone number, you can go through and confirm your schedule for the next day without having to actually print anything, write any notes, because your notes are going to be all in this right-click menu from the dispositions and are color-coded. Okay. Now, one question that we just got is, after all the confirmed and left messages are completed, does it print on the schedule that it was confirmed or left a message? Once it's been marked as checked out or completed, depending on which you use, it would just show that it's going to show you the current disposition. Okay, it's not going to go back and show you it was this and this and this on a report. In the history, however, of that appointment, you can see the appointment was scheduled. This user called to confirm. This user checked them in. This user took their copay, and then this user checked them out. Okay. Of course, they're not all going to be on the same day, but within a day of each other, you'd have the confirmed and then the checked out. So it's not available to print on a report, but it is in that history forever as far as that specific appointment goes. Okay. There is not, because this is unique to each office, and we, like I said, we give you guys the ability and kind of control to create whatever dispositions you want to use. There's not really a list that I have to send to you. It's really just, how does your office want it to work? What do you guys want to label these dispositions as? So I would get together with everyone, the front desk, managers, whoever, and decide on colors, decide, okay, do we want the verbiage to be confirmed or left message, or how do you want that laid out? Okay. So as far as the dispositions, make sure I would encourage you to use that phone number, because, like I said, you don't have to print anything. You can just run down your schedule. If you get distracted, you know exactly where you left off, because your confirmed appointments, the color would be the same up until the time that you stopped. Okay? And if you weren't sure, you can always go in and look at the history of that appointment. Okay, we've kind of done everything for this particular patient, checked him out a couple times, checked him back in, and so on. So just as a reminder, to get the phone number in here, and again, this is per user, you'll want to go into General and Staff Properties, okay, and then click on Scheduling and check the box to show the phone number in Scheduling. So File, General, Staff Properties, and then the Scheduling box, okay. Any other boxes that you want, of course, you can check those too. If you want to see the account number as well, that's fine, but the phone number is beneficial in confirming and using your dispositions and not having to print that out and have a separate schedule. So that's what we wanted to go over today. If you do have questions, please let our support team know. We'll be more than happy to answer those questions for you. I do appreciate your time today, and hopefully this will help your office and kind of streamline some of these processes. And I hope you all have a great rest of the week and enjoy your weekend. Thanks so much. Bye.